boy, whatever this is just hammered it. It is fast. We got 6-pound line hanging on the other end of this log. Not good. Morning, river rats. I'm out here looking for breakfast. Possibly brunch. I guess that really just depends on how good of a fisherman I am. But I'm gonna try to get something to eat. So let's go. I'm here a little bit later than I prefer. I like to get here before the sun comes up because sometimes that's the only time they bite. And if that's the case today, well, that's unfortunate. Okay. Also try to step fairly quietly because they might be right at my feet this time of day too. What is our flavor of the day? What do we get? That's definitely going to be an option. It's the Bling Certified Swimmers. Got some prototype colors too. Got my Confidence one, the All Natural, but got a couple. One called Chicken Smoke that'll be coming out, and then this one's the Tricky Ricky, which is already out. Well, it's exclusive. You gotta go to Johnson Bait and Tackle to get that one. I'm gonna go with the All Natural to start. Hopefully not too rusty. Haven't done much walleye fishing since this spring. A little bit over the summer, but not a lot. There's a lot of bait in here. That drag is spicy. Yeah, I want to hear that though. Okay. First cast in the morning. Walleye fishing's kind of a funny thing for me because I won't do much of it, and then when I go, if I have a good trip, it's like all I think about for a while. That little tappity tap when they bite it, I just live for that. Oh, bumped into a fish. Okay. At a slightly different angle. Got an 1/8 ounce jig. The jig you pick will just depend on the depth and the speed of current. So you can't, it's tough to really say you should use this or that, or I'll fish a 1/16, I'll fish an 1/8, quarter, even go up to a half at times. But I probably use an 1/8 the most for the depth and speed of the rivers that we have here, especially when the water's low. But we'll drop down to a 1/16 at times. It's quite a bit deeper there than I thought it would be. It's still pretty warm out, like throughout the day. Feels a lot like summer in the afternoons, but at night it's cooling down really nice. It's like 50 degrees right now. It's supposed to go up about 38 degrees today, which is ridiculous. Usually, when you got bluebird skies like we got today, if you're gonna have action, it's gonna be hot and heavy first thing in the morning. So I've never fished before, it's fine. So the fact that we haven't got a nibble or anything makes me wonder if it's even worth staying. Little nibble. Almost felt like a bluegill. Tappity tap tap taparoo. I set the hook because hook sets are free. I think I better sling a whopper plopper a few times before I take off. Or maybe I should throw a 1/16 ounce up there where I keep seeing fish move. Or maybe I should do both. I think I'll do both. As cold as it is, I'm quickly talking myself out of the effectiveness of a whopper plopper. And I'll run it up on the bank one time. Alright, let's do some more bank walking. Definitely need to catch something or I'm gonna be eating granola bars. Feel pretty confident I could get some cats, but it's not really what I'm hoping for. Wouldn't have had to wake up this early to catch some cats. Although I prefer to wake up early versus not. Probably should have checked my drag before making that cast, but here we are. Snagged something there for a second. No lack of shad swimming around in here. Hopefully there's a few in here. Or, you know, just one. One would be a really good start to the day. There's bait there. Do not believe I've ever caught a walleye here. So that would be cool to catch a walleye here. You know, considering we're walleye fishing and everything. That's interesting. My leader knot get tangled? I think that's exactly what happened. Interesting. Okay, progress. I always wonder how those knots form. I'm sure there's an explanation, but I don't have it. Round dose. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it here. Let's make a big move. All right, round dose. Maybe trace. I'm not sure. We're at a new spot. Am I bumping into fish or rocks? I'm not sure. Bumping into fish sounds like an interesting problem, except you're bumping into them, they're probably not eating. Because they're probably carp or buffs or something like that. Yeah. Oop. Yeah, that was definitely not the target species. Definitely ran into that carp. Surely there's a few around here. Can't hardly keep an 1/8 ounce up off the bottom, so I got a 16th rigged, so might as well toss a 16th. Might just be a little early. And there's not many leaves falling in the water. So that's usually a good cue. Although, I don't know. Usually you can pick up a few regardless. Should have brought crawlers. Should know better. Should always bring crawlers. There's something different. Nature calls, so I'm gonna get out of here and get out of here pretty quick. Not even a bite though. I don't know if we need a cold front or I'm just not very good of a fisherman, but we'll give it a try again in a few days. I honestly kind of enjoy when the fishing's tough, because when you do finally get one, it makes it that much sweeter. There we go. Whoa. Yeah, I don't think this is a walleye, but he crushed it. I don't like how he's on the other side of this log. Wow, whatever this is just hammered it. It is fast. We got 6-pound line hanging on the other end of this log. Not good. Would I be better walking on the log? Up? I don't know. I wish he would have ran downriver, but wishing don't do me no good. Okay. I'm doing it. Okay. Yeah, whatever you are, just throttled it. I was expecting big old head shakes when I set the hook, not for the drag to melt. Whatever. Oh, that's hilarious. I just saw it. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You, as hard as you hit it, I did not think this was you. Nope. All right, everyone can relax. It's not a 50-pound flathead or a 12-pound walleye. Where'd be a good place to land him? But it did get my blood flowing real good first thing in the morning. And they fight awesome. Light tackle enhances the situation for everything. Come here, bud. I mean, if you're gonna catch a chan, that's a pretty darn nice one. Thought about eating you, but you're not what we're here for. See ya. Thanks for fooling the crap out of me. He thumped it. Like lots of times they just hit it running and you don't really feel a tap or a bonk. Sometimes you do, but that was more flathead-esque. Like I just felt the boom, set the hook into solid weight and drag ripping. Okay, well, it is the next morning. Different spot. And somewhat different results. We did catch a fish, nice fish. Still have not caught the filet mignon of the pond. I got an hour or so. I'll chip away at it. There's a breeze today, a pretty stout one. Makes presenting jigs a little tougher. It appears I got my pants pulled down. Probably the small version of what I'm trying to catch. Actually, no, it's probably smallmouth. Although, it's the wrong size smallmouth. Ooh, no, that was a snagged fish. What I was trying to say is, if an appropriate size smallmouth decides to take a swipe at this, and I get him in, he might become breakfast too. Still can't get over how hard that fish hit. There's something. I don't know what's fighting funny. Is that? Oh yes, get over here. That's what we wanted. Yep. Breakfast is served. Just a little bunk. That's what I've been looking for the whole time. Just a little bunk. He fought funny. He like ran forward and never really threw any head shakes. Guess it doesn't really matter because he's a walleye, and even if he didn't fight like a walleye, or how they usually fight, but he tastes like a walleye. Yeah, this wind, this little bit of wind is just making things a little bit tricky. But one is perfect one is awesome. One more is perfect. Don't need to get a limit, just enough for a meal. All right. He's secure. Sweet. Like I said yesterday, when you got to work for them, they seem to taste better. All right, I think I've beat up right here, this particular location enough. I'm gonna slide her down a smidge. The other thing about sliding further down too is they get out of the wind a little bit, and walleyes like wind, don't get me wrong, but we got extremely low river, gotta fish very light jigs, and the jigs don't like wind, so it's hard to fish them in a way necessary to get a walleye to bite. And you can bump up the weight in the jig, it just, I don't know, the bait don't flutter the same. Ooh, that was like right away. The fall rate's different. I think fall rate's big. Oh, with walleyes. Am I just bumping into fish, or are those bites? I mean, they're just like little bites, but oh, that's weird. Must have been bumping into fish. That's weird. Anyway, I think fall rate's important for walleyes, like how fast your lure falls and whatnot. A lighter jig falls slower, pendulums less. As a general rule, bank fishing for walleyes, I try to fish the lightest jig I can get away with. Ooh, yeah, there we go. I literally just popped it off of that stump or stick or whatever it is, and then doink. I don't think you're gonna make the cut though, buddy. You're close. I made a little move. 3 casts later, get bit. I mean, a good bite. I wonder if that's what was ticking my bait right off the bat, was little fellas like that. He hit it nice though. He definitely gave it everything he had. The fight, not so much. He must have used it all up on the bite. There's no size limit on our waterways for walleyes, but I kind of have a little self-imposed 15-ish length limit. He was probably 13 or 14. If we hadn't caught that first one, I might have thought it over a little bit more, but we did. I just snagged one. I think we have the buff. I think. I'm gonna assume that's what it was, because hook just came out. Never felt a bite. That was weird. I was just getting ready to lift it up and he whacked it. Are you the purple nurple? You are. The hit and the weight made me think we had a big Walter for a second, but we do not. These guys are actually pretty good to eat too, but we got a walleye on the stringer, so he also bit in the correct order. That's a good one. They don't get much respect, but I appreciate that they'll hit a swim bait, they thump it pretty good, and they fight pretty good. Barely hooked. He's an extra purpley one. See if we can get him to light up a little bit better. There we go. Catching fish today. Kind of a variety, but they've all hit it hard. They've all been fun to reel in. Well, I'm hungry and a little chilly, so a little walk will be good for me. I'm gonna grab my cooking stuff, and he's not giant, so that means I'm just gonna have to cook more eggs to go with him. But it's gonna be a good breakfast. Probably a brunch by the time I get everything done. I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, oh, I'll just make one more cast. Oh, that's funny. Well, we won't need as many eggs now. Yeah, he smacked it. That's perfect eater. It's just so funny to me. Fish all morning, you're like, oh, one more cast. Yeah, the wind died down a little bit, making it a little easier to effectively present my bait. And bang, caught a fish. I guess I'll have to make a few more casts. Well, I dipped up into the woods because the wind was definitely going to make it hard to cook. This isn't like my favorite kind of place to cook. I like cooking on sand. Not that I enjoy sand getting in everything, it's just it's easy to level out and stuff like that. Up here we got grasses and things to worry about. Sand also gives you the option of a campfire too. I don't like making campfires in areas like this. I think it'll be a suitable cooking area. We're to find out. I'm only gonna cook one of those walleyes because I have eggs for breakfast to go along with it. And my grandma said she wanted some walleye fillets, so I'm gonna get her some walleye fillets. And I am gonna cook them a little bit different. I love fried fish. Fried fish is the best, but well, maybe. This is a little bit different. I'm gonna do blackened walleyes to go with my eggs, and I should do blackened more. And it's not that it's difficult, you just have to bring butter. And with the fried fish, you don't have, I mean, everything's non-perishable, so you just keep it in the cooking kit. But butter, it'll melt. Had a stick of butter melt in my truck yesterday. It was great. Anyway, so we're gonna do blackened walleye and eggs. That should be enough. You don't need much to do blackened fish. You can make your own blackened seasoning. Old Bay makes really good blackened seasoning, and that's what we're going to use today. All you need is some blackened seasoning, fish, and butter. And we have all of those things. And I suppose you could do oil, but butter is better. Where'd the fish? Oh. Yeah, you just put your fillets on a plate, liberally cover with the blackened seasoning both sides. Okay. And this is going to be what makes your crust. It's not going to be crunchy like fried fish, but makes a nice little crust on it. This is slightly healthier than stuff fried. Am I going to say it belongs on the Jenny Craig diet? Absolutely not, but still better than fried fish. Okay. Keep my trash kind of under control. The other nice thing about cooking blackened fish outside is it's got to smoke. You got to hit that smoke point on that butter to do it correctly, and if you do that inside, it's going to get smoky inside. So if you decide to do blackened fish inside, just accept that, or cook it outdoors, which is what I like to do. Definitely what Ella would prefer I do. Cook the fish first, and then eggs after. Spatula. Oh yeah. The nice thing about this burner, gets to burning awfully quick. Let's get these puppies on here. As far as cooking goes, I'm more of a gist guy. Details, not super refined, but that's the gist of it. That's the gist of blackening fish. There's definitely more to it than what everything I've talked about, but that's about it. She's definitely smoking. Okay, wind, you quit that. Time for the flip? I think so. Oh yeah. Probably past time for the flip. There's a little crisp to it. Yeah, I think you could pull this off with oil, but butter is so much better. And I'm going to pair these walleye fillets with 2 eggs. Okay, how we looking here? I'd say we're good. Now we just need them eggs. Probably a little more butter. And for my eggs, I just like to scramble them in a skillet. Might be a little overloaded on the butter, but that's okay. Those eggs with the blackened seasoning mixed in be pretty top notch. I think we're good. And there it is. Breakfast is served. She's pretty hot. I'm gonna let those eggs cool down for just a sec. And I do have the Franks, not for the fish so much, but the put a little on the eggs. A little bit of walleye, a little bit of egg. Come on. That'll work. Phenomenal. I mean, there's a lot of opinions out on what's the best tasting in fish. Freshwater, saltwater, whatever. For me, it's walleye. It doesn't have any super distinct flavor, but the texture is very light and fluffy. Very mild, white, flaky meat. You can do a lot with it, and it's still really, really, really good. I mean, perch is good. Northern pike's really good. I really enjoy salmon, although salmon's like clear in left field. It's got a very unique taste and texture. But for those of us simpletons, simpleton might be mean. For those of us regular folk fishing in the Midwest, walleyes are accessible and absolutely awesome. Crappies are good too, but not as good as walleyes if you ask me. If you ask me. As much as I enjoy the act of fishing for walleyes, I think I enjoy the act of eating them just as much, if not more. I do think something also goes into the difficulty of catching the fish. Like fish that are generally a little harder to target and catch on a consistent basis are often viewed as better tasting. And I think sometimes that's the case, but sometimes I think it's people just value it more because it's harder to attain, even though the flavor itself isn't any better. There might be some of that to the walleye, but I don't think so. Flathead's really good, but I think there is a layer of that to flathead. I think I'd rather eat a blue cat than a flathead. I know that sounds crazy. But hey, very few things make a fish taste better than catching it and cooking it yourself. And this is pretty dang good. I'm gonna get cleaned up. I hope you enjoyed that little adventure. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, if you liked it, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support me, check out my sponsors, Waterland Sunglasses, Striker Apparel, and PC Fun Rods and Reels. And I got promo codes for that stuff and links for that stuff in the description. And if If you don't do any of that, I just appreciate the heck out of you taking time to watch. Hope you catch a giant.